Hi, this is Scott McLaine. I want to welcome you to today's web class series. We are in the studio here at the Bright Money Studios, broadcasting live downtown Phoenix. We are going to be talking about impact marketing and how you as a trusted resource member can share the Bright Money Impact Financial Training Workshop with your business connections and contacts and friends here in the Valley to really help empower their teams. In the studio with us, we have two of our favorite team members. I'm going to start with Michele Barragan. Michele, do you want to introduce yourself and kind of share what you do here at Bright Money?
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Michele Barragan. I am the corporate financial wellness manager here at Bright Money. So when you introduce your referrals, you will call me and I will set up Angie Merget. And she's going to introduce herself now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angie Merget. I'm the Director of Business Development, and I will be going out and meeting with business owners and setting appointments for impact zone workshops in businesses. So why don't we go ahead and get started and just jump right into the slideshow.
Sounds like a plan, Angie. Let's do it. And again, my name's Scott. I'll be the trainer that will actually be going out and doing the workshops in those companies. So we have a slideshow for you that is going to share with you some information on how to best approach managers in your area. And as a Trusted Resource Network member, it's our responsibility to make 2 introductions per month, each month of the year. And as a network doing that, that brings hundreds of workshops possibilities for us to do, which brings referrals to the entire network. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here, and we'll get started with our slideshow. We're going to move this out of the way. And here we go. So today's workshop is called Impact Financial Workshop, really approaching business owners with financial training for their team. Remember, we are live on the screen right now, up in the corner, so they're seeing us. So keep that going. All right, so today's workshop, Financially Empowering Arizona, that's what we're doing as a network. And our focus for this workshop is to learn how to easily approach existing relationships that we have and introduce our Impact Financial Training Workshop to them. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to be covering on today's workshop is the mindset and the attitude that we have to have when we're approaching our connections. We're also going to take a look at who do you know? Who do we all know as individuals, and how do we approach them is going to be the next part. How do we make that introduction for this financial training workshop? And then finally, some of the tools and resources that we have, and then also some common objections or concerns you might hear. And then we're going to do some fun. We're going to role play. We're all going to get to act and play like we are a manager and kind of show you what goes on out there in the real world. And so that's going to be fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at the mindset. First thing to remember is that the world's like a mirror. When you smile, it
smiles back.
Exactly. All right. And so you approach this with a positive attitude, you're going to get a positive attitude back. If you walk into the business owner and you're talking to them and you're fearful or you're anxious about it, you're going to create anxiety in that business owner. So have fun with it. Remember that this is a great resource for their team and that employees love this workshop. We've done hundreds of these and they're all smiling. They all love it. They all feel great about it. And you're really doing a service for each of the managers that you're bringing this to. Finally, managers, or not finally, but next, managers look like heroes when they do this. The employees high-five their managers. They say thank you. They love this, and it really, they're super excited that we actually brought this. And so when you're bringing this to a business owner who's a friend or a contact that you know, just know that you're going to make them look like a hero. And also, the best part about it is there's no charge. Part of being the Trusted Resource Network is our network is sponsoring this workshop for everybody. So there's no charge to be part of it. And so there should be no stress. They're either going to love it or they're not. There's no worries. All your job is to do is to make an introduction. You don't need to sell this. You don't need to try and overcome all their objections. We're going to share some of that with you. But really, all you're doing is making an introduction, and you're introducing either Michele or Angie to that business owner. And that's all you have to do. 2 of those a month. And that's the golden plan for this entire network. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first part, which was the mindset. And sooner or later, the mindset will, there we go, pop on there for us. So we're still there. There we go, after 6 clicks. So who are we looking to introduce this to? Maybe, Michele, do you want to take this part for us?
Sure. I mean, I think the best thing to look for are the people that are in charge of the most people. So we're looking at CEOs, presidents, owners, vice presidents or directors of operations, vice presidents and directors of HR, and department managers of large teams.
And so the next part is also who are some of those actual individuals So those were the titles that we just looked at. And then also the individuals of these companies. Like, who do you know? What type of business owners or contact managers or directors of operations or human resource managers or office managers or big, managers in companies? What type of companies are they? Angie, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So like Scott said, the companies that you go to and you work with, that you do business with. So your alarm company, your personal company that you work with, your banker, your business clients, the clients that you work with now. Like for instance, if you're a CPA, what business owners do you work with? With car dealerships, where do you buy your car from? Do you know that person? Your chiropractor, daycare center, dentist, doctor.
We all have a dentist or a doctor, don't we? I mean, hopefully you have a dentist or a doctor.
So when you're in there, just making the connection, not, like Scott said, you're not overly selling it. You don't have to overcome any objections. It's just making the introduction, and that's all you're doing with the people that you already know.
Right. We've done this. You work with them. You go into those offices all the time, and these people you're paying them money already as your service. So why not just say, hey, we got a great program for you. I want to introduce something to you. And there's some more. You've got your family. What about your spouse or your brother or your sister? Where do they work? What about your cousin or your children? They all work somewhere, so let's get in touch with their company. Also, what about your friends? You got friends, your neighbors that live down the street. What company do they belong to? If we think about our friends, we all know someone who works for that great company, and you could have them make an introduction for us. What about the gym you work at? What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say that it's not, you've done business with them, and we're not trying to say that they owe you. You're just trying to help them because you enjoyed working with them. So you want to do them a solid and say, I can help you now.
Absolutely.
You help me to buy this car. I want to help you and your sales team or your entire company use their money better. So
exactly. And so do you have a gym that you belong to? Go in there and let's talk to the business owner of that gym and say, hey, we got a great resource for your team. We just talked with one of our trusted resource members the other day, and they had an HVAC put up on their system. They spent $5,000 or more to have a new air conditioning unit put on their house. That's a good time to make an introduction and say, hey, I've spent some money with your company. I want to share this with you. It's going to benefit your employees. I've met those guys. They're great. What about your real estate broker? We just talked with a real estate broker yesterday, Angie, one of your friends, and they scheduled an impact workshop for 30 of their employees, didn't they? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so he totally saw the benefit of what we're doing and how real estate agents, especially because they, they're 1099, they get a paycheck, and then they don't for a long period of time. So really learning to budget is really critical for those type of people that are in sales. So he said, come on in.
Yeah, he scheduled it for 2 months out when he's got his whole company together. And it's not just his team of 30 employees, but it's the whole company. And so we all have a real estate broker. If you're living in a house, you bought one, or friends that were brokers. A lot of our members are real estate agents. Maybe another brokerage that we could go in and do a financial training for that team, or your brokerage and do, Tuesdays, doesn't the whole team get together? The Impact Workshop's a 45-minute program. We come in and totally financially empower that team. We could even shorten it to 30 minutes if we had to. And while we're on real estate, what about a title company? And so these are just some of the companies that you could be thinking of. Maybe you've got some others where there's employees, and we could go in and do a financial training for their teams. And so that's section 2, who do you know? We talked about the titles, and we talked about some actual companies. The third part is the introduction. What do we say when we call them up? All right, we call our alarm company or we call our friend's work, and we're on the phone with that manager, and we're going to make an introduction. What do we say when we get them on the phone? Well, that's the next slide. So let's take a look at that. Now, first off, when you do make an introduction, we're looking for warm introductions. You're either going to be introducing Michelle or you're going to be introducing Angie. And the first point of contact is really Michelle. Michelle's going to be talking to that person and scheduling maybe information right then or there, or scheduling Angie to go out and do a one-on-one or visit with them in person. And so when you make the introduction, you're going to want to ask or share on that phone or on that email or on that in-person introduction the name of the person you're talking to, their title, their company name, and their location. And we're going to role play this for you in just a few minutes so you guys will get a sample. But what are you going to say when you do talk to them? Okay, and well, there's really 3 types of introductions. We just mentioned that. In person, where you actually are going to be meeting with this person for lunch or something, and you just invite, if you're going to meet for lunch, probably you invite Angie to come out and visit with them and sit down and just go over the presentation right then or there. If it's by phone, then you're going to want to get Michelle on the phone and make a warm introduction to her on the phone call when you're talking to that person. we don't want you just to call up your contact and say, hey, I want to have this person call you. You want to get them on the phone with Michele right then and there. That's the highest impact, best use of our time. And then third would be by email, where you make an email introduction, but we would prefer not to do that. We use that as a follow-up. Would you prefer?
Like our last ditch effort.
Yeah, exactly. That's the easy way out. Just sending them an email and copying Michele on that email at the same time and saying, hey, why don't you guys get together? Yeah. We'd really love for you to do it on the phone. That's the best possible, chance and scenario for all of us.
I think they're going to be more apt to take the next step if their friend that made the introduction is listening. So.
Right. And again, you've done this a few times.
I have.
Yeah. And the phone introductions work the best, right?
Absolutely, because it just warms it up. So that's what we want them to be warmer to the idea. We don't want them to ever feel like we're strong-arming them at all. It's always going to be a friendly, helpful interaction, and that helps if you're a part of it.
Absolutely. And so you can see Michele's contact information right there, and you can see Angie's contact information right there. If you need to pause this and write it down, go ahead and do that. And then let's go ahead and talk about next. What are we going to say? How do you introduce this? What do you say when you get that manager on the phone? And so that's the next part. And so here's what you say. We've got it written down here for you. This is a real quick, easy way to make the introduction. I'll run through it, and we're going to role play this. But before we role play it, what I'll do is we're going to share with you kind of the introduction line, and then there's some additional phrases that you can add to that. And so if you get your manager on the phone, it's going to be like, hey, Michael, thanks for taking the time. I know you're my doctor. I just wanted to share with you a free financial training program that empowers your team, could potentially boost your company profits. And a networking group that I belong to is really sponsoring this series because we really see the value. And then you just introduce one of these next phrases. And something like this. I think the program would be great for your team. Can I get someone on the phone with you? Or they offer this financial training program. It's 45 minutes and it's paid for by the network. Let me just get Michele really quick on the phone for you. Or employees rave about it. Or managers and owners look like heroes, and they really do after we do this workshop. Or hey, let me take a worst case scenario. Let me take your business card. Or let me give your contact information to Angie or to Michele and have them call you. But we really don't want to do that. You really want to connect them live when they're on the phone. Again, we're going to role play this for you in just a minute, but we wrote these here so you could pause them and write this down. We're also going to have them available for download right next to this video that you're watching right now. So just click the button and download the actual Trusted Resource Network Guide to Scheduling Impact Workshops, and it will have all of this written in there for you. So go ahead now. These are some of the tools that are available to you. One of the tools is impactzone.biz, and that is a landing page that plays a video and allows the manager to learn in about 5 minutes what's really quickly going on with this whole workshop series. And so you could share this with them, but share this with them after you connect them to Michele,
right?
Not before. We don't want to do this in lieu of that. The highest, best possible use of time is to connect Michele on the phone with the person who's your contact live right then and there, or schedule an in-person meeting with Angie to have lunch with them and you. Either way.
Absolutely.
One of those two. Or to meet at their office for coffee or something along those lines. But if you do send them to this as a worst case scenario, they can learn more, they can download a flyer, they can get a free guide. We'll send them this flyer right here, and then they can also schedule a pop-by visit for Angie right then and there. And what'll happen is this video will be there and this video will play. I'm going to skip the video on this workshop, but you can go to impactzone.biz and watch this video right there. Okay, so let's skip that right there. This is the flyer that will be downloaded to them, or you have copies of these flyers that you can actually give to them when you're physically meeting with them. But again, what's the #1 use of time? Schedule Michele. You want Michele on the phone with them. That is our strong suit. Or you want Michele and Angie in front of them at lunch or at coffee. And so on the Impact Workshop flyer, you're going to notice that there is some areas at the very top of it where it'll kind of tell a little bit about the workshop. There's some benefits for the business owner, and then there's some samples of different types of workshops. We'll do a free 45-minute version, and then we have some upscale versions for managers that really get excited and they want us to do more for their team. We have a 90-minute and a 3-hour paid version that they can pay for that's totally economical, and it just juices up their team and gets them jazzed for empowering themselves financially and empowering their futures in general. And so that information is available on this flyer that you can download. Okay, so what are some of the common concerns you might hear when you do talk to these managers? When you do call them up and say, hey, I want to get Michele on the phone with you, or I want to get Angie on the phone with you, what are they going to say? Well, you can see them right there. Some are going to say, can you send me some information? Or how much does this cost? Or I'm too busy right now. Or I can't take my workforce off the floor. Again, your job is not to sell this. All you're doing is just trying to get Michele on the phone or Angie into a meeting. So you don't need to overcome these objections. That's what we're going to do. And we're really not even going to overcome them. It's really right for them or it's not. And that's fine. There's no pressure put on anybody.
Right.
But we do have some comeback to these types of questions that really helps people see the big picture before they really say no, if you will. And so I thought we'd go ahead and just do some role playing and run through this. What do you guys say?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the common concerns right there, but we'll come back to them when we're during this role play section. So I'm going to eliminate this video and just bring us right back into the studio here. And so here we are. So let's go ahead and do some role play. And how do you guys want to do this? Who should I play? I'll play the TRN member.
Okay, I'm the business owner, so you're calling me.
I'm calling you.
Yeah.
And then
I'm your
I'll play
friend.
me.
you'll play you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get you on the phone. And then I'm going to call you and ask
Okay,
you.
and then we know each other,
Okay.
right?
Okay, yep.
We just kind of want to show you how it works.
Mhm.
And the reason that I just want you to know when you connect to me, what a typical call will sound like, so that you know that I'm not selling long distance or something, you know.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Okay, ring ring.
Hello.
Hey Angie, it's Scott. How are you?
Oh, hey Scott, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. How's the doctor practice going?
Oh, it's going great. We are so busy.
Did you fix any elbows today?
No, that was yesterday.
Oh, okay. Got it. Hey, the reason I'm calling is I wanted to tell you about this exciting program that we came across. It's a financial training program that totally empowers teams, makes managers look like heroes. I immediately thought of you and your company. I thought I should give you a call. I'm not trying to give you all the information right now. I just wanted to see if you'd be interested in maybe learning some more information about how to empower your team.
Oh, well, that does sound very, very interesting. Could you send me some information? Just
Absolutely,
send me an email?
yeah. I could totally send you some
Okay.
information. Actually, you know what? I don't really have the information myself. I'm just part of the group that has it. But what I could do is get Michele, who's got all the information, on the line and just make a real quick introduction. I promise it'll take like 2 minutes. Can I just take 2 minutes of your time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
That'd be
great.
fine.
Hang on one second. Ding, 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 ding. Michele, hey, I got Angie on the phone. Oh, ring, ring.
Hi, it's Michele.
Hey, Michele.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I was on speaker.
Oh, you're on speaker. I'm sorry. Hey, Michele, it's Scott. I've got Angie on the other line. She's a doctor. She works in Glendale. She's got a team of like 15 people. I thought it would be great to have a quick second to talk to her.
Absolutely. Hi, Dr. Angie.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Hi, it's Michele.
Oh, hi, Michele.
I'm so excited to talk to you. Every time I meet someone that Scott introduced me to, I know they're great people.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he is awesome.
And so much do you be.
Oh, thank you.
So you are a doctor in Glendale.
Yes, I'm a naturopath.
That's man, we need them so much. So how big is your practice?
We have 19 people here.
19. Fantastic.
And Michele, I just want to jump in. Angie really cares about her team. I've been over there before. She really loves them, and I'm sure this is going to be great for her. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you
Oh,
guys.
no problem.
Wow, what a perfect fit.
Oh, yes.
So my job is to set up a pop by with someone really spectacular that comes by and shows you what it is that we do for your great employees, for your great team. So in Glendale, I have her out there on Wednesday. She's got an appointment at 10. She usually wraps up right around 15 minutes. So I could get her there as soon as 10:30. Is that something that would work for you, or?
10:30? Okay, let me take a quick look at my calendar. If it's only 15 minutes, I could do 10:45 if that would work.
10:45 will work, and yes, her agenda is 15 minutes.
Okay.
If she needs to speed it up a little bit, she can.
Okay.
We want to make this work for you.
Okay, great. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So that's one very easy
Yes.
example of how it
They're all
works.
going to be like that.
Yeah, they're all going to be like that. No, you are. Okay, and so let's do one sample where maybe you're out on a client meeting with them. We set up a one-on-one lunch, and you can be the doctor, and or you can be the connection, and you'll be sitting with them, and then you ask more information to Angie. So you guys will get an idea what would actually be said.
So I'm the TRN person? Or who
You're
am I?
Angie.
yourself.
Okay.
You're going to play
Yeah,
yourself. And so you're on a one. We're sitting for coffee. I set up a coffee with Dr. Barragan.
Okay.
All right. So Dr. Barragan, I just wanted to introduce you. I appreciate you taking coffee. I know you're busy. I know you got your surgery in like 10 minutes.
That's why I need my coffee.
Yeah. So I wanted you to meet Angie. She's really great. She works with the Trusted Resource Network and the BrightMoney Academy. And she is she's going to share a little bit of information with you about this financial training program. I'm just a TRN member. I just network with these guys, but this program's great. Angie, I just wanted you to meet Dr. Barragan.
Really nice to meet you.
Oh, hello. Hi, I'm Angie. Thank you so much, Scott, for setting this up. And again, that's pretty much all that he's doing. He doesn't have to do any more. And then I go from there and I go in and talk to the doctor or whoever he connects me with and give more information about the workshop. So our workshop, it's a 45-minute, fast-paced, mind-awakening, thought-provoking financial thump in the head to get your employees thinking about money and the decisions they've been making. So are they on path for retirement? Are they even on a path? So we get them thinking, and then we invite them to come to our boot camp. So, to go into more detail of what that entails. And
how does that work? How does that work?
So we do the 45-minute workshop, and then there's one of 4 things that we can do. We can either do a boot camp for the company if they have enough employees, or invite the employees to come to our boot camp, or the employer would pay for that, or they can split it, or the employee themselves can choose to pay. So that's a little more wordy.
Are you doing the workshop?
No, so I don't do the workshop. I am just setting the appointment to have Scott come in to present and do the 45-minute Impact Zone workshop.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Wow. So I saw on the website, Scott McLaine.
Yes.
Not the Scott that introduced me to you. But
Yeah.
Scott.
The other one.
He looks pretty vivacious. Yeah.
Yes. And again, all you're doing is making the introduction.
Right.
Yeah. Let me take it from there.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the next example we're going to do is when you call up your contact and they don't answer the phone, you get a voicemail. What are you going to say? Well, we're not really going to leave a lot of information, but if I'm talking to Angie, would it be all right if I connect you to Michele from there real fast? It's like 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure. That'd be fine.
Okay, great. So ring, 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 ring. Okay.
You've reached Michele, and she's not available right now. Please leave a message.
All right. Hey, Michele, this is Scott. I have Angie on the phone with me right now. Angie's a doctor at Glendale Pediatrics. She loves working with children. She's got a great staff, and she's got about 30 employees. I know you're on the other line probably right now scheduling another workshop with another company. But when you get a chance, will you please give Angie a call back and talk with her? And Angie, will you do me a favor? Will you just say hi to Michele on the phone real fast?
Oh, hi, Michele.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Scott.
So that's Angie's voice. You'll hear her. And so when you get a chance, give her a call. Angie's number is 222-222-2222. And she'll take your call when you give a chance.
Great.
All right. Thanks.
Perfect. Yeah.
Bye, Michele. Done. All right. So that gives you an idea. Really, the key is lean into the frame a little more. So really, so that gets you. So really, the key is that you just make the introduction to Michele. Michele will get the appointment scheduled with our contact, and we'll go from there. I want to thank you guys for being on this particular workshop. We'll be doing more of these. This is the first in a series of Impact Marketing, where we're going to be empowering you. Any final comments?
Thanks for being a part of the team.
Yeah, and again, as long as you're coming from a place of love and you're really doing a service for these people, it's really, not salesy. And again, it's just making the introduction.
That's a really good point. So you have your own specific favorite part of what Scott does. And if you talk to that when you're making the introduction, it's a slam dunk. So
Right on. Well, Wonder Twin Powers, activate. Let's do it. We'll see you at the next event. See you guys.